Erin, the 2 Martini Stitcher, both here on YouTube and on Instagram, and this is my channel about cross stitch. That's what we talk about here on Flosstube, is all things cross stitch. So if you're a returner, welcome back. I'm so glad that you're back for another fun-filled cross stitch happy hour. Cheers. We ate early today. Oh, it is Sunday, June, what is it? The 14th. Sunday, June 14th. We ate an early dinner today because the middle daughter has a meeting down at the dance studio. She's a teacher. So they are safely meeting to go over all of the safety precautions and how they are going to slowly, when they are able, hopefully in a couple weeks, to bring small numbers of students back into the studio, how it's going to look. So she's headed to the studio this evening for a teacher meeting. So we had early dinner, which means my cocktail is more of a desserty cocktail. It's a little like espresso latte kind of cocktail. So it's some coffee liqueur, some espresso mixer, and a little bit of half and half. Yum. It was kind of like dessert in a cocktail. So that's what we're having for cross stitch happy hour tonight. Let's see. I'm looking at the big pile of stuff next to me. I was thinking as I was getting ready for today, I was like, oh, I feel like I didn't work on a lot of stuff, but I do have a lot to talk about. So you might want to get yourself a beverage. I just feel like there's lots of stuff to go over and talk about. And then when I was pulling together all of my things, the projects that I had worked on this week, there really are quite a lot. This week just felt long. It felt really long or something. As I was going back over my planner, which if you didn't catch, I did do a little Flosstube extra of a walkthrough of my planner. But as I was going through my planner, I was like, that was just this week? Like, I feel like I showed that last week. It must have been because it felt like at least a week ago that I had stitched on some of these projects. So I don't know, I guess this week went slow or fast or was busy. I don't know. Whatever it was, I could barely remember Monday and Tuesday even looking at my planner. So I'm going to show you guys what I worked on this week, and I have 2 finishes, 2 in that set, and we'll talk some plans for the coming week, and I have giveaways and all the fun things and haul, all the things today. We have all the things. So the first thing I wanted to do is a little bit of Q&A as I was going through the comments today. There were a couple questions that came up a few times, so I just thought I'd go over them. Oh, first things first, because you'll probably just watched an ad or at least like watched a few seconds before you skip the ad. Before this, someone mentioned to me that I would have cringed at one of the ads that they saw on my channel because it was a political ad that they felt like maybe I would not agree with. And the commenter even said, I'm sure you have no control over that, but it just, like, it was enough that she commented on it. She's right. I have no control over what ads YouTube puts on my channel. I don't have any control over that. I do feel like the algorithm in general tries to match the content of the video to, like, tries to match the content in the ad. Like, for a while there, every Flosstube I watched had a Gorilla Glue commercial. Like, I saw that commercial so many times. Because yes, we're crafters, we probably use some glue, right? However, I think that political advertising is different. I'm not positive that. I know it is on the radio, like radio stations cannot refuse political advertising, and it has to do with their FDA license, or not their FDA license, their FTC license. I feel like political advertising is different, so I'm sorry if you guys are getting political ads. There's nothing I can do about it. And it didn't surprise me to hear that because I know in the Flosstube I've been watching that there's been a couple occasions where a political ad ran that I went, it was definitely a little dissonant to the views of the Flosstuber. So that's my little spiel on the ads that run. And I have monetized the channel just so that you guys know, like, I don't think any Flosstubers are getting rich on YouTube. In all, like, absolute honesty, like, you don't get a check from Google ads until you reach like $100, and I get a check cut to me like every 3 months maybe. So, but I do have the channel monetized just to help cover shipping of giveaways and stuff. It keeps my husband from going, what, you bought that stuff to give it away? Yes. Yes. I love giving stuff away. I just think it's fun. I love being able to share with the community and passing my stash, and it just helps cover, just offset some of those costs. So that's my little spiel on ads on YouTube. There you go. For that, I did want to give also a little update, speaking of money, a little update on the Velosano fundraiser that myself and Michelle, Bendy Stitchy, and McKenna at Stitching and Sequence, and Alicia Resist Stitch on Instagram. It's her baby. It's her brainchild. We're happy to jump on board. I know lots of other people have joined, and I love it. If you've joined the team, that's awesome. Thank you so much to everybody who has donated to like my stitching. I really, really appreciate it. And I just wanted to give you guys a little update on where we are. So as of this morning, when I looked, the team, the Velo Stitchers team, has raised $4,132 for Cleveland Clinic's for cancer research. That is so awesome. And I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but every dollar through the Velosano fundraiser goes to research. They have some big corporate donors that cover all their advertising costs and costs of flyers. Like, all the administrative costs of this fundraiser are covered by big corporate donors. So every dollar of donation goes directly to research. So that's super cool. We had our very first little Velo Stitchers meetup on Saturday, and if you were one of the people who came, thank you so much for hanging with us, because we of course had technical difficulties at the beginning. We're amateurs, we screwed it up to begin with, but we prevailed in the end, and I thought it was really fun. It was fun to like get to know some new stitchers that I had never met before, and we gave away some prizes, and it was really, really fun. We'll be doing another one on the 25th for Merry 25 Stitching, so just keep an eye out on our Instagram stories. If you're not following McKenna or Michelle or Alicia at Resist Stitch, go give them a follow, because we're kind of taking turns who announces it to start with. But keep an eye out on those spaces for when we open up the sign up for Merry 25 Stitch Along. Also, you're going to want to keep an eye on Michelle Garrett, Bendy Stitchy's Instagram, because she does auctions. She does auctions on Wednesday, and all of June and July, the charity auction is going to our Velo Stitchers team. Will get donated to the Velosano event. And I have put up, like, she's going to run it, but I will be shipping out one of the prizes this week. So this is what I have donated to the charity auctions, and I think it's something that a few of you guys might be interested in bidding on. So you're going to want to give Michelle a follow if you don't already. And that is, I am auctioning off this pattern. And I know when I was stitching this, so many people asked where they could get it, and it's not available yet. So this was exclusive to the So Much to Love project bag. It came in the August project bag of the month last year, and it's from Summer House Stitchworks. And so it hasn't been released yet. I expect that she'll probably release it at some point, but maybe not. I mean, I don't really know. So I am going to be sending whoever wins that auction this chart, along with, it calls for DMC, it calls for 2, 4, 6 DMC. So I've purchased all the DMC, you'll see that in haul. And I'm also including this piece of 32 count platinum linen. So you're gonna get the chart, you're gonna get the linen, you're gonna get all the floss, and you're gonna get this little needle minder. I'm pretty sure this is the one that came in that set too. It's a really nice, it's a super strong needle minder. And it, you know, and it matches. We love a theme. So this is gonna be one of the auction items this week on Michelle's Instagram. So if you've been hoping for this chart or waiting for it to release, you're gonna have a shot at it. And I'm gonna mail it out to whoever is the highest bidder on that auction. Okay, I think the other questions were things that I'll answer or talk about in amongst other things. So let's get to what I've been stitching this week, right? Talking about Velosano, the first thing I want to show you guys is, of course, Harry Potter book covers. It's by Fox and Teacup Designs. I'm doing the supersize max color version of this chart. And that was one of the things that I did want to talk about, because I had quite a few people, I mean, I just always have people say, I love that chart. I can't commit to a project that big. I get it. And I don't think that I ever, or at least very often, mention that Fox and Teacup Designs has this pattern. One, these are the US covers. The artwork on the British version of the books looks different. And she has a British version as well. This is the supersize max color. She has a standard version that I think when finished is like 8 by 10, maybe, or maybe that's the mini. And there's 3 sizes. There's a mini version, there's a standard version, and there's this supersize max color version that I'm doing. So if you love this chart, you can do a smaller version of it. You don't have to commit to this kind of insanity that I have going on. But I'll show you where I got to on this. And then I'm going to chat a little bit about the dilemma I'm having with this project. There were 2 nights that I didn't even get to work on this. I'm sorry, I've got a tangled mess of floss because apparently I didn't tuck my tails in, and then I made a mess. There were a couple nights that I didn't even work on this, and I left it in the middle of a block, partially because I was really tired and partially because I think I was having a dilemma with this. But this is where I got to. I still got some good progress. So you can see this is Harry's hair. See, I'm right here. I'm just getting ready to start stitching his face and his eyeglasses. But there's his hair. And as I was stitching it, all I could think was, Harry's got some quarantine hair going on, right? Like, we kind of match, right? Is it just me, or does our hair totally match? Streaks of silver gray and with the auburn. So that's where I got to on Harry Potter book covers. I know probably not all of you are as in tune to Harry Potter verse as I am, but I know a lot of you are. So I did want to address a little bit, and this is where Erin gets on her soapbox for the 2nd week in a row, J.K. Rowling's transphobic tweets last week. This is not the first time, honestly, that J.K. Rowling has made some problematic statements, let's say, at least in my eyes. To me, I find her stance, her stance is particularly when it comes to trans issues, very problematic. This is a very personal issue to myself and my family, and it is not the first time that J.K. Rowling has made problematic statements in regards to the LGBTQ community. In the past, when she's gotten called on it, she's kind of made non-apology apologies. You know, the like, I'm sorry if anybody was offended kind of apologies. This time, she kind of went the I said what I said and then wrote a 3,000 word essay to defend her stance. I'm just not okay with it. And I think it really kind of almost put me off this project for a couple days. Daniel Radcliffe and several other actors in both Eddie Redmayne, Fantastic Beasts, and Rupert Ron in the movies, and Emma have all come out and said she's wrong. We don't support her views. I can tell you, I'm not a big buyer of like licensed Harry Potter merch anyway. I won't be buying any. I will not be giving any more of my money in any way, shape, or form to J.K. Rowling. The designer of this pattern, Jessica Foxton Teacup Designs, she has a Facebook group. She is fantastic, and she came on and said that she would, and already has, done a version of the pattern without J.K. Rowling's name on it. Because quite a few people felt like, I don't really want to put her name on this piece that's going to be hanging in my home. I still love the Harry Potter books. Like, that series to me has so much like inclusion in them. I have no words for J.K. Rowling. So I now have a version of the pattern without her name on it. I already have the J stitched, and I'm torn over what I'm going to do, and I have not decided yet. I will tell you. I'm not going to stitch it this way, where it very prominently stands out. I'm debating, and I will decide when I get down here. I will have to decide by then what I'm going to do. Whether I'm going to pick this J out and leave her name off of it. And I have thoughts and feelings about separating an artist from their art. Or the other thought that I had, she did write them, is to instead stitch her name so that it's very close to the color around it. So it kind of fades in. Because I do feel like the Harry Potter universe has eclipsed her. Like it's the books, the universe is bigger than J.K. Rowling at this point. So that you would see it sort of, but that it would kind of fade into the background of the artwork. It's kind of where I'm leaning, but I haven't really decided yet. I'm doing a lot of hard thinking on it. But there you go. That's where I'm at with Harry Potter book covers. I also think I didn't get as many hours on it this week. Let me see if I can tell you where I'm at on my 100 hours. I didn't get as many hours on it this week because I also had a lot of projects that needed to get stitched on certain days, and I was just tired by the end of the evening. So let me see. So I have remaining 78 hours, 43 minutes, and 30 seconds. So I've done 22-ish hours so far. That's pretty good. I feel pretty good about that. It does put me a little bit behind the pace that I need to be at, but I still think I'll make 100 hours. I think it'll happen. So there we are. So that's Harry Potter book covers. So I worked on that almost every day, and then I also continued to put a strand or two every day into my Good Place stitch. So here's where we are on that. I don't have a cover sheet. So, but it says welcome, everything is fine. I think you guys can picture it. Getting pretty close. Like, I need this S, F-I-N-E, and the period. So maybe finish next week. We'll see. It'll definitely be done this month, which is exciting. So there we go. Welcome. Everything is almost. So that's it. And I will link in the description box below. I always put links to pretty much everything I talk about. Facebook groups, if I mention other floss tubers or people on Instagram, and I always put all the information when I'm stitching it on. This is 18 count white Aida with DMC 702. I put all that in the description box below, and I will link to this pattern on Etsy because it's an Etsy seller, and I can't remember the name of the shop, but I'll link it below. So that's that, and I'm just going to keep plugging away on it until it's done. So that's exciting. And then on Monday, I decided, I'm trying to decide where I'm going to dump all this stuff, that I wanted to just start the very last yearbook, very last Lizzie Kate yearbook, July. I just wanted to start it and get it out of the way. I just wanted to do this early in the month so I wasn't like rushing at the end of the month. Honestly, it's very unlike me. I tend to procrastinate things. But I wanted to get that going. And these are such quick little stitches that I started it and I finished it. Look at that. Even put the charm on. So this is it, guys. It's so bittersweet that I'm done with this series. I've loved stitching them, and now they're all done. I'm so happy. So happy. And this one was really fun and I feel like stitched up really fast. So there we go. So there's July yearbook. These were all stitched on a 28 count linen in Flax. Honestly, to do them again, I would probably do them on an even weave. I don't know why. I just would. I love them. I love how they look, but yeah, they'd also look fantastic on an Aida. So I did these on 28 count Flax Aida with the DMC Conversion. It calls for all weeks dye works. Yep. And almost all weeks dye works. 2 DMC it calls for, and I just used the listed DMC Conversion because all these little motifs are really small. I think it looks great. So that's it. So this whole series is done, and I will tell you, in some fashion or another, you're going to see this whole set of charts with the little bendy flip that I used to raise money for Cleveland Clinic. So I don't know where or how yet, but you're gonna, if you've been thinking you wanted to stitch those, watching me stitch them the past year, you're gonna have a shot at the charts. I will have used all the charms, but the charts, and I'm sure a whole little bundle is going to pop back up to raise some more money for Cleveland Clinic. All right, so that was January yearbook. And then I just got a wild hair. I don't know why. I decided I was going to, when I finished January yearbook on Tuesday, I was going to go back to Stitch or Die to start finishing up Mania starts. And this I started in May, and it wasn't a Mania start. I started this in May for Alphabet Soup for Jay, and it was really close to a finish. So I decided that even though this wasn't a Mania start, I was going to finish this up. And that is this sweet little basket. This was the January Patreon exclusive chart from Bendy Stitchy Designs. So I started this for Alphabet Soup, and I finished it up, and this was such a fun stitch. You can see there's some stems and some buds that are over one. There are some fun little Smyrna crosses in the basket. It's just really sweet. This was a really sweet, really fun stitch. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna make another little floss drop out of this. So this will go in the pile to be FFO'd at some point, but I was really glad. So I had said 2 finishes, I lied. 3. July yearbook, January basket is another little finish. I love that turquoise. So pretty. And that was another finish. Yay. And so I finished both of those on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, I pulled out for Enchanted Stitching Challenge, I pulled out, oh, I don't have, hang on, just a minute. I know that it's right over there, the cover sheet. I'm gonna go get it. Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves and check out the needle minders. Okay. Here we go. I pulled out this one, Love My Stitching by Hands On Design. This was a collaboration between So Much to Love, you know I love their bags, and Hands On Design. So it has all the instructions to make the bag in here. I'll show you the fabric I had bought. So these are the two fabrics I had purchased. Teal, bright green, white, gray, love it. So these are the two fabrics I had purchased to make the bag, and I pulled colors from this to do the stitching. And I have the rickrack. I think I have everything but the zipper to make this, to actually like finish it. But this is my L for Semi-Sane Alphabet Soup, is Love My Stitching. So I pulled this out and I used this for 2 different tasks for weekly challenge in Enchanted Stitching. You guys have not seen this for a long time. I couldn't tell you the last time I touched this. So I'm going to insert a picture of where it was when I started here. Okay, so that's where it was when I started last week, and I've used this, I used it for 2 different tasks, and then I'm also almost done. I have like 50 more stitches to do for a monthly extra credit, and then this will get put away, so I'll finish that up tonight, but here's where it is now. So you can see I got a lot of work done on this. I finished up this box here that says Aida, and I got the rest of the border in, and then I did scissors, needle, and I did this little thread spool. It's really cute. I really love it. I need to do the chain stitches on the in between the beads of the scissor fob, but I love how this little spool of thread came out. It's charted, I don't know that you can see, it's charted for just cross stitches. When I started WIP It Good, on that pattern, Beth Twist suggests doing full crosses on those spools and then doing satin stitch over them, which I thought was a great idea, so that's what I did here. So I did full crosses and then I satin stitched over it, you know, this way horizontally. So I thought that little spool and thread into the needle came out really super cute. This is on 14 count white Aida, because for size purposes it had to be, I think she called for a 28 count Monaco, but I had some 14 count white Aida. And then I can tell you what colors I'm using. Oh, please. As I wear it, I am using, I cannot remember, and I can't remember what the pink was, because that was charted to be the green symbol, but I couldn't have a green heart, so I picked a pink, and it's not in here, so I don't know what pink I used. Can't tell you the pink, but the gray is 413, the teal is 3848, and the green is 906. They're showing up a hair bit brighter, but they're gonna look fantastic with that fabric, because those are some of my favorite colors. So there we go, Love My Stitching. It'll get another 50 stitches tonight, and then I will put this away. However, I think, I was gonna say its birthday's coming up soon, and that's a lie. I think I started this in maybe September of last year. However, as I was doing this, it really does stitch up pretty quick. So I think that when Welcome, Everything Is Fine is done, this is going to be my next project that I put a strand or 2 in every day until it's done, because I just think it would finish up really quick if I focused on it a little bit. So that will come out again, I think pretty soon. So that's Love My Stitching. Then on Thursday, it was Autumn drum's birthday, so it needed to get stitched on, and this didn't fit in. I used Welcome for Enchanted stitching tasks. I used Welcome for 1. I used Love My Stitching for 2, and Alphabet Soup. This didn't really fit into any of the tasks, but I just gave it some time on its birthday because that's what we do. So this is Autumn Drum by the Blue Flower. This was an exclusive kit to Acorns and Threads. I think you can still get it from Janine at Acorns and Threads. Just give her a call. I mean, I know that she had some of these kits last fall, and I felt like this kit was a really good value because it's charted in silks, and you get the called for fabric, which is 40 count lakeside linen. Yes. And then the silk and the pattern. There was even a needle in there. I felt like the kit was a good value. I was too scared to stitch on 40 count linen, so I switched it out for, and I think it's a flax. I'm almost positive it's flax. I went with 36, so it'll be just a hair bigger, but that's okay. So I gave this a day's worth of stitching, and I managed to finish up the top of the drum. I could have spent a little more time on it, but I don't know. Like, this felt like just a good place to leave it for now. So I got that all done. This little A&M, if you guys remember, if you've been watching me for long enough, you'll remember these are the very first over 1 stitches I ever stitched. Lisa Kindred Stitcher held my hand and showed me how. And these are supposed to be your initials, and then the date was supposed to be over here. And for whatever reason, well, so on the model, it says A&T for Acorns and Threads. And so I was going to put my initials in, and I put AM because my name does not start with an A. However, my husband's does. He's Andrew. So I left him because who's going to pick out the very first over 1 stitches you've ever done? So I just added my initials over there instead of the date. It's a good thing I didn't put 2019 because it's still not done. But there we go. So there is the top of the drum. This was going to be a big contender for a length of thread a day, and I might pull this one out next after Love My Stitching, because now with this, like, this is bigger blocks of stitching, these big letters that I think would be easy to do just a couple strands a day, and march this towards a finish. So this might come out after Love My Stitching, but Love My Stitching is just, it feels close. I mean, not really. I think I'm halfway done, just about halfway done. So, oh, maybe more. Yeah, I'm at least halfway done, and I just feel like it'd go quick. I don't know why, because you guys know I say that about everything. Okay, and then the next day, the 12th, is the day that I work on Crosses of the Kingdom. This is going to be an anniversary gift for my parents for their 50th anniversary in a couple of years. But I figured I better get moving on it now because big chart. But this is like, so, like, with this frame and everything, like, this would just go in their house. Like, they would love this. They need to have this. This needs to be stitched for them. So, and I was able to use this for a task because we had something that was either in exile or was going to change hands. Was that right? Yes. No. Something that was going to change hands. That was a gift. So this is going to be a gift. And this I am stitching on 32 count antique white linen with anchor black and petite treasure braid in PB40. And this is where I got to. So last time, so when I picked it up, what I added was I added this cross and this cross. There's still, like, all 4 of these have this swirly, and there's still more swirly stuff in the middle to do. But since I was using this for a task, this swirly, it's a pain to count your stitches, all that little swirly back stitch. And I didn't have the brain power for it. When did I do this? Friday? I did not have that brain power. So I'll come back and finish this up a month that I'm not using this for a challenge, for a task. But I just wanted to do full crosses, easier to count. So this one got put in and that one. And it's so pretty. And honestly, this is the first time I've used Petite Treasure braid. I don't have any problem stitching with it. It's not a problem and it's pretty and sparkly. So there we go, Crosses of the Kingdom. All right, is that it? Is that everything? No. We're almost there, guys. See, I felt like I didn't work on a lot of stuff until I started pulling it all out. Saturday was the 13th, Dark 13 Stitching, and we had our fundraiser meetup. And so I, of course, pulled out Tingles. I'm doing it like this all together. And I'm doing 1 block a month. I started on the 13th. And this month it was this one. It's Halloween. You get all the border, like how to put it together. It's a free chart on the Lizzie Kate website, and I'll link it below. So it shows you what order to put them in, and then there are some extra elements as well. And you can see under It's Halloween, there's some extra little doodads. But I'm getting really close to this. So I only have three months left. I only have 3 little blocks left to do and a little bit of border work. So because I started and finished It's Halloween. This one was tiny. So here's the whole thing. There it is. This is on, always shows up super bright here. It's not this bright, it's a little more toned down. But this is 14 count Aida in Prank by Picture This Plus. I'm using the listed DMC Conversion with the exception of sweet potato and guacamole. I kept those 2 overdyed. Just because there are places that I thought it would be good to have, like that sweet potato, this is guacamole. There were some bigger blocks of those 2, but everything else I did the DMC. So there it is all together. And you can see I clearly mismeasured, because for some reason I thought that that's all the margin I had, top and bottom, but maybe it will be, because I've got this. I don't know. I think I'm going to end up with more at the bottom than at the top. That's my finisher's problem. Cut my problem. But here up close is the It's Halloween block. So there we go. That was a super quick one. Would have been quicker. I started on our Stitchy meetup. I did the border and the eye. And then when I went to go work on it some more, I had shorted the border like 2 blocks. So I had to pull out one side. Whoops. It was a super fast stitch, even with having to do some unstitching. So I think I might I'm hoping to maybe find some time this month to put those little doodaddy flowery things in. So there we go. It's Tingles. You guys always love this one. This is always like a favorite piece. So this will definitely be done by Halloween this year. I don't know, like I would maybe like to potentially, probably not in July, maybe in August, do 2 blocks and finish it up. And then I could maybe potentially actually have it FFO'd in time to put up for Halloween this year. That'd be kind of fun. Okay, so that's everything I worked on. Whew, that was a lot of stuff. But I had some good finishes, right? Like I had some good finishes. I didn't get as much time on Harry Potter, but there were several. Sorry, the hair is so bad, guys, and I didn't realize I had pushed my glasses up on my head when I came up to film, and then I thought I better leave it because the hair is in bad shape. Yeah, I didn't get as much time on Harry Potter, but I think I don't have as many planned things this week. Like, kind of, maybe. So why don't we talk plans? Plans. So this coming week, lots of time on Harry Potter. Work on Welcome. Everything is fine every day. Put 1 or 2 strands, depending on how I'm feeling, how much time I have in that every day. Harry Potter. Thursday is the 18th, and that means I pull out my anniversary stitch, which is Stars Bright. So I'll be working on Stars Bright on the 18th. And this is where I'm like telling you guys, I don't know where the month's going. I was putting this stuff into my weekly page. Like, didn't I just work on Stars Bright? Wasn't it just the 18th? I would have sworn to you I worked on this the week before last. I can't believe it's the 18th again already. That's nuts. So Stars Bright will get worked on. That's the only thing that is on my like monthly calendar to work on. I don't have any WIPs with a birthday this week. However, I am going to have a new start on the 19th. And let me reach down because I think it's in here. It is. So I had showed you guys this as part of haul last week that I had gotten a Stitch for Sweet Freedom by Lindy Stitches. And I had mentioned that I was thinking I might do this as a 4th of July start. I don't think I would typically have a 4th of July start, but this has been on my wish list for a while. It felt like the right time to purchase it and get it started. I had a couple different viewers comment and or email me and say, this would be a good thing to start on Juneteenth. And I don't know why that didn't occur to me. I am so grateful for you guys for having such good ideas for me. And it's crazy because the week before, we had just had a whole dinner conversation about Juneteenth. Precipitated because this hair is finally getting taken care of on Friday, the 19th. And so my oldest daughter, I had said, yay, we get to go get our hair done. And she's like, oh, when? I got to put it on my calendar. And I said, Juneteenth. And she went, come again. And so it turned out that 2 of my daughters knew what Juneteenth was and 1 didn't. So in case you don't know what Juneteenth is, it is a very, very important day. It was June 19th, 1865 was the day that the very last slave in America was emancipated, was set free, which was 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. But June 19th was the day that Union soldiers, after General Lee surrendered, made it to Galveston, Texas, where the very last slaves were told that they were free. So it should be a national holiday. It's not. Perfect day to start a Stitch for Sweet Freedom. So I'm starting this on a Friday. If you have it, it would be a great day to stitch on it. If you have it and want to start it, I'm starting it. Let's start it together. I've got it all, or mostly kitted up. You'll see some of the floss I needed in haul. I've picked this piece of 32 count, I think it's vintage gray. 32 count vintage gray. It looks almost kind of teal in the picture. It calls for sterling, which is kind of a bluish gray. I almost did this on Tombstone. I have a piece of brandy fabric called Through the Stones that looked so much like this. But I want the words to really stand out. And so I ended up going with this like more neutral vintage gray. And I think it's going to be really pretty. I'm making a few substitutions of stuff, flosses that I thought I had and I didn't have, or I can't find. My spreadsheet is failing me, or I couldn't get, but so this will get started on Friday, Juneteenth. Excited to start it. Love that piece. So that's all I have for plans. So Stars Bright, this, I'm going to try to make that Harry Potter welcome all fit in. Alphabet Soup changes on Wednesday. So we're on L. Let me see what I have down for M. I won't stitch on that this week, I don't think. Meow Block or Midnight Watch. I'll probably pull out the Meow Block because I think that's birthday. That's that WIP's birthday. That WIP doesn't get touched a lot, so I'll probably pull out the Meow Block, but I doubt that that will be that. Unless that fits beautifully in with a task, I doubt that will be this week. Yeah, so that's all I have for plans. Mail. What did I buy that came in this week? I'm telling you guys, on like Thursday, Friday, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna have anything to show, hardly anything to show. I've been apparently really good at not buying anything. I thought that was true. All came in the mail on Saturday. So, first thing that came was, seriously guys, piles of stuff everywhere. Where to put things down. The first thing that came was my May Floss Club of the month from 3 Owl Threads. And this is my first month getting them. They were a little delayed because of Gentle Arts, no problem. Like she was just waiting for Gentle Arts to start shipping again. And so she held on to them, that's fine. I get 10 skeins of Classic Colorworks from her and 10 skeins of Gentle Arts. Look at all the pretty floss. So Gentle Arts, I got Cherry Bark. How amazing of a color is that? Chives. Daisy, like that's just a pretty pastel yellow. Deep Forest, beautiful gray green. Deep Sea. Why am I never prepared with white paper? I don't know. Because this is so pretty variegated, this Deep Sea. Seriously, what is it? I've done this before. Look, it's getting dark outside. And so my light is not that great. Deep Sea. Dried Thyme. Fantastic. Driftwood. I love that. I mean, look at that. Beige and grayish, gray. Awesome. Dungarees. That's a great light blue color. Endive. I mean, everything calls for endive. I feel like if you're doing a blackbird, you need endive and espresso bean, which you guys will laugh because I ordered espresso bean this week and it came in. So that's the 10 skeins of Gentle Arts I got, and then I got 10 skeins of Classic Colorworks, and I got Brown Sugar, and these go in. I think they go in alphabetical order. Like sometimes if something's out, she might have to go back and pick it up later, but Bejeweled. Whew, look how pretty that Bejeweled is. Yep, you can see the variegation there. Betty Bluebell. I feel like that must be named after somebody. Somebody named Betty loves that. Bandana. Fantastic Maroon. Blueberry Tart. When you're in the beach, you get lots of blues, it turns out. Barrel Cactus. Love that color. It's like a, I don't know. It's like a light sagey color, really pretty. Blue Moon. It's pretty dusky blue. Love this one. Blooming Crocus. Oh, look at that. That's so pretty. Blue Beadboard. That's just got like farmhouse kitchen all over it. And then Blue Beatrice, which I think also must be somebody named Beatrice's favorite color. So lots of pretty blues, lots of beautiful colors from Classic Colorworks. So I'm excited. So now those are going to go in the, got to get those entered into the Floss spreadsheet. Yeah. I also got an order from Space Cat Crafting from Caitlin. If you're not watching her Flosstube, you should go watch her. She's a doll, and she does the coolest get to know your historic needleworker segment. She works in a museum, and she loves history, and she gives us wonderful information about historic needleworkers. But she also had Pride needle minders. Yes, please. Love is greater than hate. How much did I need that this week? And this will probably now go on my Harry Potter book covers. Love is greater than hate. And I had to pick up, I saw that she showed these on one of her floss tubes, so I had to run over and get one. And then I found this one, Stitch Addict. Love that. And pizza, because pizza. Everybody loves pizza. So those came from Caitlin at Space Cat Crafting. And she at least was, I think maybe through all of June, is donating a portion of her Etsy sales to charity, Black Lives Matter charities. So I will link her shop below. I would anyway. She's lovely and has fantastic needle minders. So go get you some. All right. I also got a So Much to Love bag of the month this month for June, which I felt like, wow, this is so early. It came so fast. Erin, it's the middle of June. It's the middle of June. So we always get a lovely letter from Karen of So Much to Love, and she includes in the bag some lovely goodies and things for us. She sent Jelly Bellies, because it's getting warm, and chocolate melts. She always sends some tea, and this month was Meyer Lemon, caffeine free. I bet this would be fantastic iced. I'm gonna probably have that iced. And then she sent a chart of her, this is a So Much to Love chart that she's calling Be Sweet. And it says, be sweet, kind, creative, happy, loving, generous. And how perfect of a message is that for right now? And look how cute her finishing is. I mean, of course her finishing is beautiful. She is a whiz with picking fabrics. And then there was also a lovely scissor fob, or you could put this on, I could use this as a zipper pull. I don't know. It's from Stitching Lee Along. And look how pretty that is. Stitching Lee Along. Ooh, that is good. That is so good. I would probably just, I'm not a big scissor fob person, but I would just clip that right to my little thread drop. Bling it up. And it goes perfectly with this month's bag. You ready to see this month's bag? Oh my gosh. How awesome is that? I love this gray. It looks just so perfect with the bee. And these say, be kind, be sweet, be happy. It's the same fabric on the back. And then the inside, yellow polka with the matching rickrack. Her bags are just, they are fantastic. Hands down, some of my favorite bags. Her bag of the month is closed. You can't sign up for it. However, she often has extras and they will be listed for sale in her shop. So I will link her shop below. She has a section for bag of the month, and there's sometimes past bag of the month with all the goodies and everything. And also she just always has lots of amazing bags in her shop. So this was the June bag of the month from So Much to Love. Love it. Love, love it. And then the last thing I got was an order I placed with Trish at Threads Entwined. So I needed some DMC. There was a chart I really, really wanted, and I needed some DMC and a few other threads. And so I was looking on Threads Entwined. She does not have every color of DMC listed on her shop. So I just emailed her and said, hey, do you have all the DMC? She does. They're just slowly getting added to her website because I can't imagine how much work that is to list every individual color. But she said, just shoot me a email with what colors you need. Easy peasy. She might have regretted that because look how nicely she packaged them. Oh, they're gonna slide. Like she packaged so nicely all of my DMC that I ordered. So I ended up getting DMC for Be Happy, for the yearbooks, for Touching the Autumn Sky, Tree of Hope. there were several things, and I needed some DMC for a Stitch for Sweet Freedom because it calls for some overdyed and some DMC. So I got me some DMC from Trish at Threads Entwined. I will link her below. But the reason I wanted to place an order with her to begin with was because I really needed this chart. Personal is Political by Bendy Stitchy. And I ordered this like the day before J.K. Rowling started. I need to stitch this like ASAP. Ordered this, and then I needed a few other threads. So some of these you can probably see are for a Stitch for Sweet Freedom. I'm not sure what I needed Muddy Puddle for. I don't know. She only had the Tree of Hope Mirabilia calls for 4 Karen water lilies. She only had one of them, and I think that's probably okay but I got the one that she had because these are precious. So maybe collecting them one at a time is not a bad thing, but look at that. Sea glass. I'm getting excited to start a Mirabilia. I never thought I'd be a Mirabilia stitcher. One thing I did want to know, because I ended up having a chat with Michelle about this, is this chart has like some optional color and cotton. It's mostly charted in DMC, but there were 3 color and cotton that were used in the model. She gives really good DMC conversion for it. Eucalyptus and almond latte I had, brass I did not. Trisha Threads and Twine had brass, so I ordered it. Here's the DMC conversion. It's these little berries here, and there's some in this butterfly. And first of all, how pretty is this? It's just pretty. It's pink. It's a beautiful little spot sampler with a fantastic message. It says, the personal is political. It always has been. Love it. And it's 74 by 85, so it's not going to be that. One of these days, I'm going to check how much storage space I have before I start shooting. All right. I'm almost done though. So this is the DMC conversion for brass. This is the brass that showed up. You can see it says, so either brass has drastically changed color because Michelle's brass looks like that for sure. So either this is mislabeled, which I'm not mad at. I mean, it's an amazing green color. It just doesn't look anything like that. Or Color and Cotton's color has changed. Just something to be aware of if you're ordering brass for this chart. You want something that looks peachy pink like that. So I'm excited to start this. I don't know when I'm going to start it, but I kind of want to start it soon. After I said like no new starts. We'll see where I'm, how I'm feeling, where I'm sitting. I might even potentially start this week. Because I know what fabric I'm going to use. I have some In the Pink by R&R. This calls for blush from Weeks Dye Works, but I have some In the Pink that's kitted up with Quaker sewing tray, but it's a big piece and I have plenty for both projects. So I don't know when I'm going to start that. Yeah, so a little bit of overdyes, pattern, and a whole bunch of DMC came from Trish at Threads Entwined, and that's all the haul. That's it. All done. So all we have left is giveaway. Are you guys excited? I'm so excited to do all the giveaways. So last week we were celebrating 3,000 subscribers and 1 year on Flosstube, and I have a bunch of stuff to give away. And I did the YouTube random comment picker and just wrote everybody's down. I didn't do a video of it, which is good because apparently I have no space. So you guys have to trust me on it. So the first thing that is up for grabs is a needle minder from Allison at It's Charm School. She sent me one and offered one up to one of my viewers. So the needle minder goes to Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. Yay! And I I was super excited to see her name pop up because she's a new Flosstuber, and I've watched her first couple episodes. They're really fun, so you should go check her out. I was just intrigued by the name. Like, she comments pretty regularly, and I was like, Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. First of all, that's a fantastic Flosstube name because that is certainly where I live, in the land of good enough. And so I hopped over to her channel, and sure enough, she's a new Flosstuber I really enjoy, so go check her out. You won the needle minder, so shoot me an email or direct message me on Instagram. Contact information is in the description box, and I will hook you and Allison up so that you can choose a needle minder from her shop, and she'll ship it directly to you. Hey, okay. The next giveaway we had was for this awesome Lady Dots vintage ruler trim. I love this stuff. I mean, it'd just be perfect on so many little stitching themed projects. And the winner of the trim is MJ. MJ, you're the winner. MJ, the initials MJ. So I will comment on your comment as well, but if you watch this before you see the comment, you won the trim. All right, next up was a set of Color and Cotton. So these were the April Color and Cotton Floss Club of the Month from Trish at Threads Entwined. And matter of fact, this one, this Buttercup, I'm using in mine, not this one. This one's yours. But this color I'm using instead of Whiskey in a Stitch for Sweet Freedom. So I'm already putting mine to use. You'll get awesome use out of this. And the winner is Stipple45. Stipple45, you won the Color and Cotton Floss. Yay! All right. Next thing we had up to give away was this gorgeous piece of 18 count Picture This Plus Aida and Cabernet. I mean, I'm just going to give you guys one more shot of the goodness that is this fabric. Ooh, so pretty. So, so pretty. And this fabric is going to Elizabeth Wright. Elizabeth Wright, you won the fabric. I'm so excited to send this to you. So send me your address and I will get that in the mail to you. And the last giveaway is for this Like a Cherry Blossom by Stitches Through the Years. I love the sampler so much, I bought it twice. So, and this copy is going to Becca K. Becca K, you won. Hey, you won the sampler. And I think on your comment you said that you've never stitched a sampler, but you'd like to try. You get to try to stitch the sampler. I mean, try, you will. You're going to stitch the sampler. It's beautiful. So all of you winners, shoot me your address and I will get those out in the mail to you. So that was last week's giveaway. This week's giveaway, I don't have like that big and exciting of stuff. But I did get, when I placed the order from Lindy Stitches that I showed you guys this last week, I got this sweet little freebie. And since I'm starting Lindy's pattern, A Stitch for Sweet Freedom this week, I thought I would give away. So it does say, thank you, Erin, for my order, exo stuff. But so it's like signed, it's signed. This is a signed chart and it's for this adorable, it's called Turtly Lovable. And it's a tiny little thing, so cute, just a few DMC. I love him. I think I saw somebody, I think in her group, stitch this and did like 3 balloons, heart balloons. I made it into a bookmark. Adorable. So if you would like this Turtly Lovable pattern, just tell me I want to stitch the turtle. So if you want to stitch the turtle, this is headed your way. If I pick you as the winner. So just let me know in the comments, I want to stitch the turtle to be entered for the little turtle, adorable turtle from Lindy Stitches. So that's all I have for this week, guys. I hope you had a good week. I hope it's been a week of learning and reflection like it has been for me. And yeah, I hope everybody continues to stay safe and well, and that you get some time to take care of yourself and stitch. And that's what I'm going to be doing a little of this week as well. And I'll see you back here next Sunday. Cheers.